Today, I want to talk about a topic that affects us all: money. Whether we're comfortable or struggling, whether we feel blessed or burdened by it, money is part of our lives. And God, in His wisdom, has a purpose for it. In the Bible, Jesus spoke often about money. Not because it was the most important thing, but because it's one of the things that can most easily take our focus off God. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also, He said in Matthew 6:21. This means that what we prioritize in our finances reveals a lot about our true values. Being reconciled to the purpose of money means understanding it as a tool, a means to support God's purposes in our lives and the lives of others. Money is meant to serve us, not to rule us. When we see money this way, it brings freedom. Suddenly, money is no longer a source of anxiety or temptation, but a resource we can manage wisely and use to bless others. So, how do we do this? First, we recognize that everything we have comes from God. When we view money as a gift from Him, it shifts our focus. It's no longer something we clutch tightly, but something we steward faithfully. Whether we have a lot or a little, we are called to manage it with gratitude and responsibility. Secondly, we prioritize generosity. The world tells us to hold tightly, to accumulate as much as possible, to put ourselves first. But Jesus calls us to give, to support one another, to share what we have with those in need. In doing so, we reflect God's heart and trust that He will provide for us. Give, and it will be given to you, Jesus said in Luke 6:38. Generosity opens doors to blessings that we might not have expected. Money can also be an instrument of faith. When we use our finances to serve God and invest in His kingdom, we're reminded that He is the true source of our security and strength. This takes courage, especially in a world where financial independence is seen as ultimate security. But God promises that when we seek His kingdom first, all our needs will be met. By putting God first in our finances, we build a faith that is resilient, knowing that our Father is faithful and will sustain us. Lastly, let's remember that money is temporary, but what we do with it has eternal significance. 2 Corinthians 4:18. We look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are temporal, but the things that are unseen are eternal. As stewards of God's resources, we're called to leave an impact that goes beyond our own lives, an impact that reflects God's goodness to others. When we use money to spread hope, to uplift, to serve, and to build, we leave a legacy that will last far longer than any earthly investment. So as we move forward, let's reconcile our hearts to the purpose of money. Let's use it wisely, generously, and gratefully. Let's allow God to transform our relationship with it so that money is simply a tool to live out His purposes.